Hello, everybody. Sorry, I had a little bit of a technical problem there. Getting my my Ethernet wanted to get overridden by my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi didn't want to work, so I'm not sure why they were fighting each other. But hopefully, we will have a good night tonight, and my Ethernet will hold out. Never been a knock wood, hadn't been a problem before. But we're going to see what ends up happening because as I was setting it all up, we had our guest, my guest voice from above, joining us, and that is once again Katie. So, and all of a sudden Katie froze, then Katie started spinning, and then Katie disappeared. I'm like, oh no, that was of course like 2 minutes to the top of the hour. So it always happens smack it like at the wrong time. So
yep,
we're all going to make it through tonight and we're going to be good. So thank you to Katie for joining us. If those of you who are joining tonight, if you do not know Katie, Katie has her own channel right there, Vintage and Vinyl. She puts out some great content. She has done sales on her own. I've been had the pleasure of being on one of her sales on her channel. She's been on sales on my channel. Tonight, she is going to be my my little Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder, making sure that I'm paying attention to the chat. And
oh, I think we lost Patrick here, folks. Patrick is frozen. Okay, let's see. Patrick, you're back?
I'm back, but I don't know. I still don't know what is going on. So it's like every once in a while my Wi-Fi wants to kick on.
Oh, I'm telling you, technology problems, folks. That always happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. So apologize. Hopefully this does not run through the evening, but Katie, I didn't even know I'd been kicked off. So Katie will be watching for that as well. So
yep, I'll be here and I can take over for a while.
It still shows that my Ethernet is running. So again, I'm still not 100% sure why my Wi-Fi keeps trying to override it. And I tried turning off my Wi-Fi and then that did something really, really weird. So I didn't try that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to skip the hellos and I apologize. I always like to say hello to everybody. But at this point, I want to make the most of the time that I've got just in case my internet decides to be weird again. We had some storms coming through earlier, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Nothing severe. We had some really nasty ones at the beginning of the week. That was where the tornadoes came in. And thank you for those who recognize that North Aurora, where I live, was one of the places the tornadoes were happening. No damage, nothing anywhere near me. But yes, it was a fun about 30 minutes sitting in my downstairs powder room, next to the toilet with my daughter on Father's Day. So, just a Father's Day bonding experience. So thanks everybody for joining in. Nate is here. So Katie will be the voice from above, but Nate will be the one that's actually watching the chat. So just like normal, if you're new to my channel, we don't do offer ups. We don't do auctions. So what I will do is I will show you an item. I will give you the price. That is the price you will pay. And what you need to do is be the first person to enter the number that I give for that item, enter it into the live chat, not the comments. So if you're not seeing these little comments popping up, hey, Pamela, if you're not seeing these little comments, you're in the wrong part. So just make sure you're in the chat. Nate will be the first person he sees. He will enter that into the chat. Katie will voice it verbally. So we've got some confirmation. And as I've basically started saying, I'm not selling the Mona Lisa here. So if you think you're first and it ends up that you're not first, don't freak out. Don't be mean. Don't yell at anybody. We're all here to have fun. So don't forget to have fun. And hopefully I do have some fun stuff tonight. And hopefully we'll just have a good time. Thanks for joining back, Peterson. And apologize. So short on the hellos, but hello to everybody. Going to get started because if you just joined, my internet was being a little weird and I don't want to lose everybody. So right off the bat, what I'm going to start with is I don't do auctions on the live chats, but I do have an eBay channel. And currently, let me go back to full screen so you can see it. Currently, this item is the item that's on my eBay. So this had been sitting on my piano right here in the corner. The last trip I took to Pennsylvania, I picked up 3 new pieces, which took up more space on my piano. I had to retire something from my personal collection, and this is it. It's an end-of-day stoneware. It does not have the cobalt decoration on it. It's got a little bit more of the folk art side because it's handmade, so you got a little bit of a slant there at the top, so you can kind of quirky. 19th century, that's the stoneware that I collect. But this one is being retired out of my collection. This auction will end at the top of the next hour. So at 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock Eastern, that auction will expire And if you happen, at this point, there are no bids on it. I think it's at 25.
So at 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock Eastern, that auction will.
Okay.
What was that? Am I still here?
You're still here. I don't know what was going
All
on.
of a sudden, I was just hearing myself, but with like a 5-second delay.
And then it went away. So I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, this is just gonna be a fun-filled night for everyone. So that auction will end in 54 minutes, and then we'll have another item that will start. I will show that once that item goes live. First thing, aliens are reaching out, Carrie. So we're gonna see. We're all just buckle up, and we'll see what happens. So first item is what I've been doing is one of my mystery boxes, upside down mystery box. Everybody now, for at least for a while, you'll still get a vintage maxi pad in the mystery box. They work the way a lot of the mystery boxes work. Fatbird Finds introduced them. It's a $15 mystery box. I will put between $25 and $30 worth of material in there. It's all a mixture of small items, so it's more fun to open, and hopefully you'll find a few things that you like in there. Because they do tend to be the most popular item I offer, I do these a little bit differently, and I start one up for all the early birds that join my sale at the very beginning. I don't tell you the number. You have to guess. So what I will do is I will tell you the range. Katie knows the number, and she cannot be bribed, but I will hold it so that no one can accuse me of cheating or playing favorites, as has been accused in the past. And what this one is, you be the first person to guess the number, and the first person that has the right number that we see in the chat will be the person that claims it. So it works the same as everything else. You just have to guess what the number is, and you can enter more than once. So enter a number, hit enter, hit another number, enter the number as many times you want. The range for this mystery box is between 20 and 30. So we're in the 20s to 30, 20 to 30 is the mystery box number. It is $15. What I'll do is I'll pack it based on where it's going. If it goes farther, it'll be a lighter weight box. It'll still have the same value, but I try and keep the shipping costs around $10. So if you're local, Kim in Ohio has been receiving practical like China patterns and sets of China because it's so cheap to ship there. So let's see.
I don't see it yet.
I just say it. When I've seen jumping, it keeps jumping. Oh, wait, I see a couple. Now we got to find the first one.
Okay, I'm looking.
All right, I do see one not too far in at 8:08 is the timestamp, 7:08.
Okay, let me see. I'm checking. Going back through. And I see what Nate sees. I see Karen Dondelinger.
There we go. Karen Dondelinger, number 22. So 22 is the mystery box, and Karen Dondelinger picks that up. So it's going a little bit further than normal. It's going to California. So thank you for joining, Karen. Got the West Coast covered. So you might have a lighter box, but you'll still get some good stuff in there, and appreciate you picking that up. Those are always really popular. If you do things on YouTube, you can see activity when you go back and watch the analytics. And I always see these really weird spikes when I offer the mystery box because the comment section like flies to this super high level. I think the last week, one of the mystery boxes had 185 entries of people trying to claim it. So it gave me this really weird spike of activity in my video, which was kind of fun to watch. Okay. Next item is going to be a little bit of ephemera. I will say I picked up a very large lot of ephemera at an estate sale, and it will start showing up in actually probably already has started showing up in some mystery boxes because I got some random things, and I'm trying to organize it and sell it in a way that'll make sense, have fun. Some may go up onto eBay and Etsy, but I like to sell some of the stuff here in the live sales as well. And this is one of the special items that I've got. So this is a postcard of a style I had never seen before. So Katie, I don't know if you've ever seen this. So you can see it's like a pop-up card. So it's a joyful Easter. So it's a vintage Easter greeting. May he give thee Easter light, he who conquered death's dark night. May he be thy faithful guide through this holy Easter tide. Okay, well, that's a word you don't hear very often. But it looks like the way it's designed is this little lily kind of like folds down, and then there's this little like gate, and then there's a tab that would lock into here. so that when it ships, you would just see the little message. You wouldn't see the pop-up. And then it was shipped as a postcard with a postmark of 1907.
Holy.
I have over 100 postcards that all predate around 1910. 1910, 1920. They're all like World War I era or earlier. There's one that actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. It's not this one, but there's one that's actually from a soldier sending a card to a loved one. And it just says, I leave for the war tomorrow. And it's like, wow, that was pretty, just bold. It was just a simple statement. Like, I don't know if he just like made a stack of those, and that's how he told people he was leaving. But anyway, so it is postmarked. It still has a stamp. It is postmarked 1907. It was sent to Boston, Massachusetts, as a postcard. It doesn't know, the address of where it came from, but it was postmarked POTSD. But then I can't read the rest. So I don't know what because I don't even know what state this would have been from. There's nothing else in here which would indicate the state that it was from. Like maybe if you really analyze it, you might be able to read the rest of those letters because they're there. But I had pulled out the loop and I couldn't really make it out either. There is a small issue that either happened in mailing or from storage. The little lily does have a little bit of a, I don't know if it's the way it was. No, actually, I thought it was a cut, but no, actually, it's clean. It's the way it was die cut. There's a little, I don't know how to show this. There you go. You can see what I thought was a tear actually is a die cut because you can see it follows the flowers. So it's actually in perfect condition. I was showing it thinking it was torn. So anyway, it is a beautiful 1907 Easter postcard. Is Potsdam, New York a place, Sam? Potsdam, the only Potsdam I know is Germany, and I think this was posted in the US. So Potsdam, New York, very possible, and it's headed to Massachusetts, so it stayed on the East Coast. So thank you for that, because that's entirely, I would have said Potsdam. But anyway, it is an Easter postcard from 1907. It is $9. This will be able to ship in a regular envelope, so you won't have a high postage for this, or if you buy anything else, it'll basically tuck into any other box for basically nothing. So shipping is going to be nominal for this, but it's $9 for the 1907 Easter postcard by giving me number 13. $19 or $9, number 13 for the Easter postcard.
That is gorgeous and amazing in such condition that it's in from that era. You just don't see those very often.
There are some amazing postcards in this collection. That was one of the things my daughter and I did over Father's Day. Was kind of like some of them. I've got a bunch of Christmas postcards, but I don't really get very often. I think I have a Halloween one, which I'm like, I've never seen a Halloween one. So there's some most of them are not holidays. But this one I thought was kind of special, like kind of start out. And so they will be trickling in to sales going into the future. Next week, I will be traveling. So I'm going to be doing a live sale from a hotel again. So I'm already packing up things that will be easy to pack. So there'll be some postcards in that sale too, because the postcards will be easy to take.
And I see Karen Dondelinger picking up number 13. Congrats, Karen. That is just stunning.
All right. So Karen, that'll be tucked into your mystery box. All right. So the next item, anytime I want to have Katie on the sale, I always try and have fun with Katie and show things that she knows something about. She doesn't necessarily know anything about the Who specifically. That is not the era that she is in, but I found a Who 45, and it is from Decca Records. See Me, Feel Me, the overture from Tommy from the Who, and on the back you've got the images of the Who, and I could not even tell you the 4 people that are in the Who. Apologize. It's like this was popular in my time, but I was very young at the time it was popular. So what I've got is the 45. I cannot verify it's playable because I do not personally have a turntable. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. So I'm selling it really for, if you want the 45, great. But I'm selling it for the art. And then what I found along with it is this was actually in the CD case. So I've got the 45, And then this was like a fairly significant booklet that was included with the 30 years of maximum the Who 30 years of maximum R&B. So their 30th year, which was copyrighted 1994. So they started in 64. This came out in 94. In, I guess, would have been like a double CD box, maybe. I don't know if have you seen this before or something like this before, Katie?
I have, and I think that probably would have come in a CD box set. So you would have had several CDs within the box, and then that would have been in one of the inserts.
Would they have been sold as like a long stretch? Because this definitely would not fold.
Yeah, a long box. I have a
box.
one with 4 CDs and a booklet like that, and it just sits on top. But the Who are a wonderful rock band formed in London from 1964, and that is a wonderful song that you've got on that.
And there's some great artwork, some great storylines, some timelines. Basically just covering the 30 years. Okay. Covering the 30 years of the Who. Let's see if I start at the beginning. Probably starts in 1960. Oh, that's actually kind of a cool. The inside of the book is like this cool, like the bills like that they would have been posted. The Who Cares. Little introductory letter written by Pete Townsend. Hey, I can name somebody from the Who. Pete Townsend. Who Me, the Who in Britain. So it just gives a nice little pictorial. It is from the 90s, so we are still like delving into vintage world. But so you get the guidebook, and then you also get a cool 45 with some gold and black artwork, and just put the two together. Okay, that's hilarious, Peterson, that they had a cover band that called themselves The What? So that's awesome.
I like that.
So it's $8 for the pair. That's for the 45 and for the booklet, the CD booklet from 1994. It's $8, and you give me number 2. $8, number 2 for the Who. 2 for the Who.
And that LP, or that 45 rather, looks in really good shape. So I think that would
there seemed nothing obviously wrong with it. So it seemed like it was good, but I bought it for the art because I just thought the black and gold looked kind of cool. And then the images on the back look kind of cool too to frame that. And
I see Vintage Loving Nerd picking up that wonderful 45 set. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much for picking that up. Send the Who from Britain to the United States. I'll ship it up to Canada. So there we go. Going to Vintage Loving Nerd. The next item I've actually had a while, long enough that I can't remember where I got it. So I think it was in an estate sale, and it is a Relish set. It is like chrome plated, I'm going to assume. Nothing more special than that. It has glass insert dishes, pie-shaped inserts on both ends with the little chrome cover with a little handle, like the little beaded handle there on the top. The edges of the glass is kind of like a candle wick pattern, but I don't think that's technically candle wick because candle wick doesn't have the bubbles in the middle, does it?
No, candle wick typically is just the small beads on the outside.
Yeah, and I think they're more separate than this. So I don't think this falls under, it's the candle wick look, but it's not technically the candle wick pattern. So you have 2 of these little dishes on either end, and then in the middle you've got the little salt and pepper shaker. So the little salt and pepper shaker both have some paint loss to the red screw on top. I didn't try and open these earlier. Maybe I should have. Well, we're going to assume somebody can open them, but I can't.
You might put some hot water over it.
I was going to say, like, if I messed around with it earlier, that's what I probably would have done. Okay, this one came off easy enough. Because I just wanted to show it is a screw on top. And the top itself is in great condition. It's just the red paint or the red, the coating, whatever they'd use. I'm sure they'd use paint, but the red is starting to wear off. So you're getting a little bit, it would count as damage, but you're basically getting a little patina on just the salt and pepper shakers. The rest of it, that's the only part that's painted. And then you've got this beautiful handle up at the top. So it's going to ship in a fairly large box because I don't see an easy way to tear this down. This might unscrew because there is a little screw here, but I'm not sure I want to deal with that. So I would probably just ship this, in one big box. Just a cool set. The glass, the chrome, great for use because the glass is very easily cleaned. So you actually could use it as a relish set, a little breakfast set, whatever you want to put the sauces or anything. I will say that the lids do not have the little the little slot in them for a spoon, so it's just a fully covered dish. Couldn't find anything that looked like this, so I don't know who made it. I didn't find a stamp or anything, but it's just like kind of a cool piece. Set it on your sideboard or use it. Hey, there you go, Peterson. Anything can be used for a candy set, so I'm totally good with that. It is $20 for the, what would that be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-piece set, if you count the lid and the dish separate. $20 for the glass and chrome breakfast set. $20 by giving me number 53. So $20, number 53 for the little chrome and glass set. Hey, Chrissy.
It's just so elegant, really lovely.
Yeah, love the looks of it. And it's unfortunate that you get a little bit, but it just kind of proves the fact, hey, we've got some age to this. It's just a neat little set.
And Vinny, the handle does come off potentially, but I don't think that Patrick wants to try to unscrew.
Yeah, I mean, it's a flathead screw that holds onto it, and I would just be concerned. I don't want to, if people are concerned about the shipping, I can try and do it, but I don't think that's going to shorten the box all that much. So no takers on that. We'll see if it'll set here without falling off. It does. So this will be saved for a later date. Okay. You guys can't see that, but hey, there it is. I don't think I put it on any higher. All right. The next item is I had a couple of these in the past, but this one was unique. So I thought this was kind of cool. It is the brass and copper butterfly wall hanging, but this one is signed. So it's signed by Nelson, smack on the front. So he was very proud of this. It does, you can tell by the way that the big butterfly is done, like I don't know, do you do woodworking, Katie? I know you do woodworking. I don't know if you do metalworking. I don't know what would have formed these holes, but they're very rudimentarily done. Is that a word? And then
a metalworking blade would have cut that out.
Okay, and then they kind of welded around the edges to keep it from being super pointy. So all of the edges you can see kind of have this very industrial, little finish that it just gives it a very rustic look, which you think your butterflies will have. It's got the 2 antennae. I guess because if you follow it by the idea that Nelson is the signature that would go up, it'd hang like this. So I'm assuming where the 3 branches come together, there's no hook to hang it by. I guess you would just hang it there. There's nothing up top that would suspend it from it. But very nicely put together, very nicely made. All the leaves are very nicely welded together. So I don't know if this was a home craft project. I'm thinking that because of the way it's signed, but I just thought it was kind of cool. And, the brass butterflies are super popular. If you want to be a little different and have a different kind of brass butterfly, you can have this one for only $14. So $14 for the brass and copper butterfly wall hanging, $14 by giving me number 27.
And I do agree, it's kind of brutalist style.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that, Rebecca. I could get behind that. Because I think the butterflies end up being kind of a 70s thing, which the brutalist, I don't know, was that still a thing in the 70s? It might be a little 60s. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool. And the fact that it was signed, I really liked that, that somebody put the thought behind that and was proud of it and they wanted to sign it.
And I see 4 Sandy's Lilacs picking that up. Congratulations, Sandy. Gorgeous piece.
Thank you, Sandy, for picking up the wall hanging. All right. The next piece, I picked this up. I think this is super fun. I'm hoping I can show it all without in the screen. It is a blanket, and I'm going to be honest, I can't tell if this was a machine-made blanket or if this was handmade. I have mixed opinions on it. I think it might be a machine-made one that was made to look like it was handmade, but I'll show you why I think that. It is, it's brown. Isn't that great? It is, how can I show this? Where's the, it's the little golden books. It's the tawny, scrawny lion. Okay, so we're just start at the top from side to side. You've got the white, you've got the paw prints. The stitching, the decorative stitching you can see is not uniform. That's why I'm thinking that this was handmade. Some of those stitches are bigger than the other stitches. As you go down the blanket, you start introducing some more color. And I promise we'll get to the lion.
I love how the stitches are different colors. It just really adds to that design.
And there you go. So there's the tawny, scrawny lion, which is a little golden book character. And then as you continue going to the bottom, you have this swatch of fabric, which is the book spine fabric from the little golden books. So this fabric, when I owned the quilt shop with my ex-wife, this fabric was something we sold. So that was between 2004 and 2014. So I'm not sure exactly how old this would be, but that fabric may be newer, which would then kind of help date the rest of this. This is like a chenille stitch, which was definitely machine done. But again, was this machine done by a person at home, or was this a machine made piece? There are no labels on this. So if they made it with a label, you know, that it was taken off at some point. The back is just the white with all of that stitching. So it's one piece all the way down the back. You don't even see the paw prints, which means these chenille paw prints were made into this top fabric before it was sewn together. So the stitching was done after it was sewn together. So this is what's actually quilted it. There's very little, if any, batting in here, so it's not very thick. It's fairly heavy. I mean, like as a blanket, I mean, it would definitely be something to keep a kid warm. It has, let me measure it really quick because I wrote it down, but I just lost the note. So the blanket is 39 by 51, roughly. And so, yes, it is the lion, which is the tawny, scrawny lion from the little golden books characters. So again, I do not know the age of it, or even if it was handmade or machine made. I just think it's cool. I thought it was fun to pick it up, and I'm offering it here. And the note fell with price. There it goes. Grab it. Okay. And so the blanket is $20. So $20 for the tawny, scrawny blanket, $20 by giving me number 58. $20, 58. I'm winded, like measuring a blanket. So $20, number 58.
And Peterson's right. You definitely could hang this on the wall in a kid's room.
I totally agree. The stitching is big enough. I mean, I think you could probably use it as a blanket too, but yeah, that would look like a really cool, it would make a really cool wall hanging. And it's a pretty decent size. You know, it would be pretty, like, it's not big enough to be wide enough for like a twin bed, like if you were to use it as a blanket, but it would look great hanging above a twin bed. It would give a really nice height.
I see Proud American picking that up, and he used to read Tawny Scrawny Lion all the time with his mom growing up. So good memories there, Proud American.
Awesome. That's great, Delbert. I'm glad you're picking that up. Okay. The next item, we're going to get into Katie's little warm cockles of Katie's heart. We're getting some Rusty Crusty Tools. So this was shown if you're, it's actually shown twice. If you're following my Instagram, I messed up the first post. I had to delete it and do it again. But this is a Circus Glass canning jar. Circus Glass is one of the weird things about my youth. I grew up in the town that had a Circus Glass factory. So I knew Circus Glass more than I knew ball glass. This is a squatty Circus Glass. You can see the height is like the same as the width. And it is sold with this collection of 6 tools. So we've got a flathead screwdriver, another flathead screwdriver, a short flathead screwdriver, and another short flathead screwdriver. So we got 4 tools with that are all flathead screwdrivers. And then we have an awl, which my favorite thing on the awl is, do you all remember the little pictograms that you do as a kid? And the word for awl was this tool, and I had no idea what an awl was, but that was what would always show up. So you got the long awl and then the short awl. So you've got a long awl and a short awl. So you've got the 6 tools plus the Circus Glass canning jar that they came in. I do not have the lid for the glass jar, and I do not know the age of the Circus Glass jar. I've found some stuff that talks about the ages of the ball jars, but I don't really know as much about the Circus Glass. So it is the full set, and basically it broke down to like $2 each tool, and then $3 for the glass, puts you at $15. So $15 for all of the tools plus the Circus Glass canning jar. Hey, Scott, $15 by giving me number 67. $15.67 for the glass with all of the tools. See, once again, Scott hears about old tools and he shows up.
And I love
Steve shows up in Brick House. Was that Katie?
I love that they're flatheads because that definitely shows their age. We use a lot more Phillips heads now than we do.
Absolutely. A lot of them have like the paint and everything on it, but yeah, I think we're definitely showing some age there.
And that was quite a popular little item you had there, Patrick. And I am going to wait for Nate to confirm that he sees the same thing I do. And it is Leanne Say is getting that. Fantastic.
All right, and so that's Leanne C. Got to remember it's C. Leanne at the seashore.
We'll get
Leanne C at the seashore.
C.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Leanne, for picking that up. All right, the next item, I'm trying to get a couple of the bigger things out of my way so I can reach everything else. This is one of the coolest items that I picked up, and I showed it to Katie, partially wondering if she was going to want to buy it. She did not, and I don't think she's necessarily going to want anyone else to buy it for her, but it's another piece of great copper, and it is an old copper document case. It is all metal, and it is tin lined. So you've got this cool rounded lever at the top, and then a little flat lever at the bottom to kind of like pressure against. You pop that open, and you've got a tin lined flat, what I am calling a document case. Now, I don't necessarily know that that's what this was for, but it's only a couple inches tall when closed, so it can't really hold anything big. So I'm thinking it was designed to hold papers. Now, it does not have a way to lock it, so I don't think it was a safe. It might have been put into a safe. There is, how can I hold this? You can see there is a hole here, so you could put something through there. And maybe you could put something through this one, although this one's squinched down quite a bit more. I don't know if there was a way to try and tie these two together, but I don't see easily that you could do that. So I really just think, so Peter's thinking maybe for a tool set, and that could be, there's no fitting or anything in it. So what did you think, Katie? What did you think of this when I showed it to you?
Well, originally I thought documents, but I see Gabrielle's making an interesting point. She says maybe for
photo processing. Interesting.
And I kind of agree. That might be something that could be used for one of those shallow trays.
It does have some oxidation inside, but now I will say the oxidation is both to the bottom and the top. So it doesn't. I would say it probably, because of the tin lining, it probably is liquid. It would be water, like liquid tight. But I can't really tell that there would have been stuff stored in the bottom, but I love that idea. That maybe it could have held the chemicals. I mean, it's a decent weight. It's not going to cost a ton to weigh, but it is all metal. So it'd be a decent weight that it would have sat flat, I think, fairly easily. I hadn't even thought of that, something with liquid in it. But yeah, photo processing is kind of cool. There's no markings or anything on it. The hinges looks like the hinges are riveted onto it. So I don't know enough about my metalworking. I don't know if Katie would have anything.
That looks very well made.
Yeah, it's still really nice and tight. You know, as the lid comes down. I'm not going to say it's airtight, but it seems airtight. It does. It just seems really well made. But I don't know if it would have been like homemade, or if it would this been something that would have been like mass produced.
The joinery on the side to me looks like a master craftsman would have made that. Unless someone at home was really, really good to be able to solder all of that together. I don't 100% know that was handmade by one person.
Okay. Well, that was the part, like this whole, let's see, where can you see it?
But I don't know that it would have been made in a factory either.
Like the way the tin is wrapped over the copper, you know, it's very uniformly done. Like same thing. I felt like this would be too much for just a DIY, but there's nothing to indicate that this was ever like, you know, sold as part of a kit or, you know, anything else. And yes, Nate, I'm sure, wants to polish it.
He does.
This deserves to stay like this. I loved Melody's idea, you know, using it to store photographs, because it would keep them nice and well protected. And then somebody else was saying displaying smalls. Like this would be kind of a fun thing. You could keep it closed, and then when you want to show them off, like, hey, look at my collection. And you just have this really cool industrial copper. It's just a really, really neat piece. And trust me, I did consider keeping it, but I decided I didn't have a specific use for it, or more importantly, a place for it. So you guys get to benefit from it. So it is a nice size. It's a lot of copper. There's odd tin. I should have weighed it. It's probably about 2 pounds. So it is going to, you know, there's going to be some weight to it, but not over the top. But just take that in consideration. I am shipping from Chicago, so fairly central. That my shipping doesn't tend to be like super high end expensive, but it is. Oh, and I think somebody had asked for the size. So outer dimensions is 14 by like 10 1/8. Like, yeah, just a smidge over 10. So inner dimension is probably a little bit smaller than that because of the way that stuff's wrapped. So it would hold quite a few pictures, and I think actually some really nice old black and white sepia tone photos in this could look really cool.
Would be awesome.
So you can have, whether it's a document case for your papers, for your photos, for your smalls, for your displays, put some like a little felt black bottom in it, and you can put your jewelry in there, knock yourself out, do whatever you like with it. And it's $30. So $30 for the copper display case, document case, $30 by giving me number 57. $30, 57 for the copper and tin document case.
And I saw Karen Dondelinger. She was saying you could put a pin through that slot. And I think that might be possible.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem is the box side kind of cuts into it.
Oh, okay.
If it was small enough, like if the radius was small, you might be able to slide it in there.
And I'm going to wait for Nate's confirmation, but I think that we're both seeing the same thing here. And yes, we are. I see Laura Ann getting number 57. Congrats, Laura.
Great. Thank you so much, Laura, for picking up the copper box. All right. Next item, we go from the heavy duty industrial to the light and breakable. We have a brand I am not personally familiar with. It is called Chase Hand Painted, and it is a little porcelain deer. And he's got massive ears and a little gold nose, and kind of, like, to be perfectly honest, looking a little cross-eyed there. He looks like he's trying to look at his own nose, but he can look at you straight on. He's got the gold painted on the back, so I guess that makes that a doe with no antlers, and an absolutely perfect flower, no chips, no cracks, so it's in perfect condition. However, as I just was picking him up, and you can see him right there, there's a flaw in the porcelain. And I did not see this earlier, so I hope I didn't do it, but it's entirely possible. I'll have to go back and look at my old pictures. That is a crack, but it does not go all the way around. His head did not fall off, but I'm very disappointed that he is damaged, because I picked him up. I looked so carefully at that stupid flower to make sure he was in perfect condition. I either missed that or something happened to him when I packed him and he did not survive the trip. So I'm going to change the price because he is not what I thought he was. So he was going to be $8. He is now going to be $4. So $4 for the little chase. And I did find other listings of this company, but I personally, had you ever heard of Chase porcelain?
I have not heard of Chase, so I'm not familiar with them, but it does say made in Japan.
Yeah, it's got the made in Japan. It's a paper label, so it's not quite foil. It's more like the Japan paper labels. And they did people figurines. They did some animal figurines. Like, this seemed to be their thing. They weren't really doing like China patterns. They were doing decorative porcelain. So it is a piece of Chase. I will just say I did not notice it. As you just hold it right here, the crack is not noticeable, but the crack is there. So I'm knocking the price from $8, slash it in half. He's $4. So $4 for the damaged Chase Deer, $4 by giving me number 34. I'm gonna make that note that he's $4 so I don't forget. $4, number 34. $4.
And I am waiting again for Nate's confirmation. He sees all, and that was a popular little fella. Holy moly.
Oh, that's good. Somebody's going to give him a home. I always feel bad because I tend not to pick up damaged items, and I wouldn't have picked him up if that cracked if I had seen it already. So I have a feeling I might have done it. So we're going to still, damage happens, but then you price it accordingly. So he would have been $8. Now he's $4.
And I see number 34 going to 4 Sandy's Lilacs. Congratulations.
All right, great. Thank you, Sandy, for picking that up. And I hope everyone thought he was a cutie, and he is a cutie. Don't try to dismiss you, but his head's still attached. I'll give you that. Okay, so that is the Chase porcelain. Thank you for picking that up.
14
right.
Spot. He was very cute.
Excellent. All right, the next item, and I'm not sure, my lights are too far away for me to turn off, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to I'm not sure I'm going to be able to show the glow, but if you saw my Instagram posts, I have some uranium glass furniture coasters. So this is my coaster entrance for tonight. I've got furniture coasters from Hazel Atlas. So you can see the HA logo there at the bottom. Which I actually find interesting that I guess technically because it's reversible, you can see it on both sides, but it's actually embossed on the inside of the furniture coaster, not the flat bottom. So the flat bottom was kept flat so that if it scoots across your floor, it doesn't scratch it. So the HA is on the inside, but either way you see it, it says Hazel Atlas. They do glow.
Wow, look at that.
So even with all these lights shining in my face and the sun still shining sort of through the window, you can see how much glow this has. We got some radioactivity going on into these.
The glow is strong in that one, folks.
Yeah, we got the glow on these. So both of them glow. I do only have the 2. Now I was doing a little bit of research. Now this could be one of those cases you see it on the internet. It could be true. I always thought that they came as a set of 4 because you'd have 4 legs to a piece of furniture. But what some people were saying is that the coasters would actually be what would show on the front because that'd be like the decorative piece and you wouldn't have something on the back. I have no idea. Do you know, Katie? Do you know how coasters themselves would be used?
I don't. I mean, I've always gotten them in a set of 4. I actually have a set of 4 of these, but you would think that if there was just 2 on the front, it would cause the furniture to become unbalanced. So I don't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Scott's here. He'll know. Scott, are they usually sold as a set of 4? Yeah, so you don't have to use them for coasters or for furniture coasters. I'm not even sure that these would fit underneath some of the legs of my furniture. So you could get creative, salt cellar, just very, very sheer sides of the salt cellar. A very shallow air plant holder. Or if you're just building a uranium glass collection, this would also be really nice because they can be held backwards. It could be a nice little platform to hold another piece sitting on top of them.
And Scott is saying that he has seen original boxes in sets of 4.
Okay. And then Peterson, it was the fronts had feet and the backs would have solid back wood to the floor. So yeah, because I think I know what you're saying, Katie, but I think the idea would be like you'd be canted just a tiny bit. Who knows? The fact of the matter is I only have 2. So I did actually ask Scott when I got them, I'm like, are these the coasters? Because I don't really come across them all that often. And the fact I only had 2 threw me off a little bit. So Scott's also saying they would have come in amber and clear. So the uranium glass is always really popular. Peterson's also saying depending on the piece of furniture, and some furniture, like I used to have an old style high back sofa. It actually had 5 legs. It had 4 at the 4 corners, but then it had a 5th one in the very center to support the weight. So you never know. So you got a pair, and because it is a pair, it is $9 for the pair. Hey Jay, thanks for joining us. So $9 for the pair of uranium glass hazel atlas. Whether you want to use them as a coaster, furniture coaster, or whatever you want to do with it, $9 for the pair by giving me number 46. $9.46 for the glow.
And that's very interesting what you and Peterson have been saying about the 2 pieces in the front. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more research on that. I think that's fascinating. And that was another quite popular item.
Excellent. I think that like whether they, like you said, they probably may have been sold in sets, but I think what ends up happening in a lot of cases, you have what your guests would see and what they wouldn't see. So like you would have the ability of, even if you bought a set of 4, you could divide them between 2 of your sofas or 2 of your chairs, and then it would look like you would, oh my God, look at all these great coasters, and you're actually only showing what your
that would make a lot of sense.
That you can tell what kind of childhood I had. Like let's make it's all about appearances. Mrs. Bouquet was all about keeping up appearances. So
and I'll tell you what, First Handy's Lilacs has that fast internet tonight, and she's picking up number 46. So congrats, Sandy.
Excellent, thank you, Sandy. See, you must have upgraded because you were saying you were having problems with your internet. So congratulations for picking that up. All right, next item. I don't know if Scott's still here. He's going to like this one, so I'm pulling this one out. I personally have talked about Villeroy and Boch in the past. It's a great porcelain manufacturer. It's a great name. It's been around for a super long time. But what I find fascinating about it is, can you name anything else that came out of the country of Luxembourg? No offense to anyone in Luxembourg, but most of the people couldn't even find it on a map. And yet they are coming out with one of the highest quality European porcelain lines ever. And they created this line. And it was the Villeroy and Boch Design 900. Is what this line was called. And there were multiple pieces to this, each with a slightly different image on the inside. So this one the image was called Design 1900, but I'm not sure. I think we're pushing into the teens, if not, based on the vines and that parrot on her hand and that cloche hat. I think the cloche puts us into the 20s. So what do you think, Katie? What era are we in?
20s. I mean, it's very Art Nouveau in style, in my opinion, with the flowers and the way that her hair is.
Yeah, the hair and the hat is what I felt put me into the 20s. But the width of the skirt is a little off. So I'm not 100% sure. So like I said, the Villeroy and Boch, the line is Design 1900. But if you look this up, it's not very common. It doesn't come up a lot. But there are other images, and I never found this one. So I don't know if she had a specific name, if she only, I don't know if this would be, it's a little big to be a berry bowl. So maybe a little fruit bowl. So yeah, Scott is saying 20s, and I think that hat is the giveaway on that. Like I said, the skirt's throwing me a little bit, but she does have the tighter skirt under it. It's just an interesting look. So I don't know if she appeared in any other pieces, like if she was on a dinner plate, if she was on a coffee mug. I don't know what all they made, and I don't know what else she was on. But what I've got is a single bowl with the 20s, the Deco era maybe a little bit of crossover from the teens because you still have the wisteria. That's what I was trying to come up with. The wisteria, so that nouveau carryover. It is a European. It does come out of Luxembourg, and it is Villeroy and Boch. It's in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks, beautiful piece. Villeroy and Boch is extremely high quality, hard paste porcelain, beautiful dinner services, which this would be a piece. And the standalone 20s gal is $10. So Luxembourg, come for the ceramics, stay for the tax avoidance. Ooh, Sam knows how to play the game. So we got Luxembourg, Villeroy and Boch, $10. Number 41. Trinket bowl, do whatever you want with her. She looks fantastic.
She really does. And I mean, you could enjoy that in your kitchen and have fresh berries out of it, or you really could put something in it on a display in your bedroom. And I think that would just be lovely as well. And I see Vintage Loving Lord picking up that fabulous piece. Congrats.
All right, excellent. So now we're going from Luxembourg to America, back up to Canada. So we're just going to be totally international here. All right. Another piece of near and dear to Katie's heart, because it's her fault I bought it. No, not her fault. It's not her fault. I take full responsibility, but she did give me guidance on these. I collect the glass flower frogs. So I've got the 20s, 30s, the Deco era glass frogs. And I don't really do much with the metal frogs. I don't have a big desire to arrange flowers. So the need for the actual flower frogs, I just buy them because they're decorative. But Katie talks about the metal ones all the time. So she uses the pin ones you can use to hold postcards. And this one she told me was considered a cage style. So it is a little bit of rusty and crusty because it was definitely used. I did not find a mark on this one. It came as a part of a lot that some of the pieces were marked Vogue, but the flower frogs themselves were not marked. So I can't tell you what piece this one is. Katie, what can you say a little bit about like what would be used for the cage style versus like the pin style that you talk about?
Well, the cage style, again, these are all used in floral arranging. So these would have been down in some sort of a vase. And you can intertwine the flowers through that little cage. You can stick them in and then twist kind of the bottoms of the stems around that cage, and they'll hold in there very nicely. But what I do with them is I actually hang a picture wire from the back of them and hang them from my wall because I just think they're so cool looking. So I have a whole little collection of them. And yes, Casey, you can put fountain pens in there. Thinking more modernly, because I don't think many of us are using these for flower arranging, but you totally could.
And yeah, actually, if you mounted that very securely, it'd actually make a good coat hook too. It'd make a cool, cool looking coat hook. Like the minute I turned it on its side, it made me think of like the big flashing warning lights on like a submarine or whatever that have the big cages over them. I'm sorry, Angela, are you hearing feedback? We had problems with that a couple weeks ago, but I thought that had gone away. Anyone else is hearing that, let us know. At this point, I'm just grateful, knock wood, that I had my internet based on what was happening an hour ago. So anyway, it is the cage style flower frog. Use it to flower frogs, use it to be decorative, throw them in a bucket, throw it into a bowl. You've got a nice little collection of rusty and crusty. $9 for the cage style flower frog. I'm giving you number 31. $9.31 for the flower frog. Oh, so I'm sounding creepy, Angela. Well, maybe that's just me. So maybe it's not feedback. Maybe that's just the way I'm sounding.
I think it's the weird aliens that are a part of the stream.
They keep trying to attack my internet.
And I see 4 Sandy's Lilacs with that fast internet tonight, picking up that cage flower frog. Fantastic. And just a quick little note, the primitive canning crock that was on Patrick's piano, the end of day piece, does have one bid, and it ends in about 4 minutes, folks. So definitely go check that out on eBay.
Yep. So this is the piece that's on my eBay. If Nate or if Katie could drop a link to it, or you can find it in the description of the video. Pop out TH Mercantile is the store name, and that is the only auction I've got going right now. So that is from my personal collection. All right. Next one. went from the metal, it's going to some glass. So this is another piece, and I wrote another note. Did I lose my note? Because this was a company I was not familiar with. These are Bartlett Collins Circus Glasses. And it is a circus glass with the parrot in it. So hold on, let me get a piece of paper in there so I can see it. So you've got the circus top, which the white paper did not help see at all. But you've got the little white design of the circus tent at the top, and then you have 3 orange parrots descending from their perch from the top. The profile, the downward facing dog, and the wing spread parrot. So they are all basically circling the entire glass with then a little decorative base at the bottom. So Vinny is saying Bartlett Collins makes those reversed painted fruit cookie jars. So I'm not sure I know which those are. So Bartlett Collins, are you? Because I thought these were the carousel pieces, but those were like unicorns and horses and different things. And the top was a little bit different. So I had to kind of go down my little Google Lens road trip. And all of a sudden I came across one listing that identified them as Bartlett Collins. And then once I knew that, I found that I guess this circus tent, then they also had other animals. So they were probably competing against, who did this carousel ones, Katie? Was it Libby?
I want to say Libby did the carousel ones. I could be wrong. I got to check my Tumblr book.
Yeah, so I think this was just in competition of the carousel ones. So because I'm sorry, this basically is stealing that same design. They just don't have the big, the poles going up the top to make them the carousel. But that bird cage string makes it look like a pole. So that's why I thought these were carousel. Regardless, they're just as popular. Parrots are always popular. And I have a full set of 6. So a full set of 6 that I'm not going to try and pick up right now. But I did post them in my Instagram. So I have all 6. They're all in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. All of the images are in great condition, like they were never used. Certainly did not go through a dishwasher. They are fantastic, and I'm selling them for $5 a piece. So you get the entire set of 6 for $30. So $30 for the set of 6 of the Bartlett Collins Parrot Circus glasses. $30 by giving me number 62. $30, 62 for a set of 6 of the parrots.
And those are so neat, so mid-century, and so fun.
Yeah, these were, the minute I saw them, like, okay, I've got to take these because I've never really had anything like that. And I know that look is very popular. And it's just, I just haven't had an opportunity. So I kind of paid up a little bit for them, but I felt that $5 a glass seemed to be a pretty good price compared to what they're selling for on eBay. So I don't want to, I'm not looking forward to shipping them, but hey, if you can get a good deal, $30 for the set of 6. And it looks like it's going to
Larry Riley.
So, all right. Thanks, Larry. And I'm assuming that's a connection to Deb Riley. So congratulations for picking that up. All right. So now
many variations on the circus tumbler because of the competition between the glass companies.
Perfect. Okay. The next one is going from probably the largest lot or the largest item that I'm offering to the smallest item I'm offering tonight. It is a Hoover presidential pin. It's not a pin back, it's a badge back or a fold back presidential pin. Larry Riley's no connection to Deb Riley. Okay, I'm glad you said that. So I have 2 of these. So this is actually a multiple. The first 2 people that will bid on this or claim this, the first 2 claimants will actually get one. Both of them have the blue background. So they're pretty much the same condition. Neither one of them appears to have ever actually been bent back. Because these are the types that you would actually like fold this piece back and like go into your pocket or on your lapel. And really, once you fold that down and then unfold it to straighten it back out, you're already making it so brittle it's going to snap off. So both of these appear to be in pretty good condition. The paint is not chipped where it would have bent. So I don't think these were ever used. Definitely have some age. We've definitely got some patina because I didn't write it down. Hoover, president in the right before the Depression. So we're in the 20s. So these are, so he lost to Wilson. No, Wilson was first. Wilson was during World War One.
I should know, and I don't.
I know that my daughter's usually the expert on the presidentials. Okay, all right. Scott's ripping it off. So he's got elected in 28, lost in 32. So yeah, so he was the one that was blamed for the Depression. So I knew that part. And so 32 means he would have lost to FDR. And there you go. There, Scott just said that. Because then FDR was the longest serving president. So anyway, so Hoover, I don't know if this would have been from his initial run, or if this would have been from the 32 run. I don't think there was anything on this. And my daughter does have a collection of these types of badges, including this Hoover badge, which is why these two, which I got into in a lot, these are being sold because she already has these in her collection. So these are available. Selling you one. The first 2 people to claim them will get them. So I do have 2 of these. You'll just randomly get whichever one. And they're only $5 a piece. They're super cool. They're super old. I think they make great, like whether you put it into a junk jar or whatever, but they're not super valuable. So $5 for the Hoover pin, have a piece of history, not quite at antique level, but you're getting there really quickly. $5 by giving me number 1. $5, number 1. There are 2 of them. So if more than one person gets it, the first 2 that claim will get the Hoover pin.
And those look really great in a little printer's tray.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
And I do see Karen Dondelinger and Melody's Mini Miscellaneous picking up the first 2.
Great. All right. Thank you both for picking those up. All right, so let's go a little bit more. I don't know if we're let's go a little bit more modern. We still have Vinny here. Have to think of, cannot think of these without thinking of Vinny. So if you're still here, Vinny, I apologize if you left. I would have shown these earlier. This is another multiple set, so we're just gonna get these over with while Nate is still awake. So what I've got is, and Vinny's here, so that's good. What I've got is pinup cards. Okay, so what this is a lot. What you will get as part of the lot is you will get a single Gil Elfgren calendar pinup from 1993. So these are from the 90s. So these do not go all the way back to the 40s, the 30s, or anything like that. They have the images that are of the era, but these were recreated and released in 1993 out of New Jersey. I have 15 of these. And so what you will get is, I just show you a handful of these. They're definitely, we've got some are a little bit more modest than others. Some of them say, or they all say on the back. So this one's called partial coverage. Hello. Number 40, you will get 1 of these. In addition to this was from the first series. I have a total of 15 of these. So I have a multiple of 15. So the first 15 people that want these will be able to get them. So start refreshing your internet, because what you'll get is, in addition to the individual, which I will just randomly assign to you, you will also get 3 packs of the second set that he did in 1994. So you'll get 1 card from the first set in 1993, and then you will get a set of 3 sets of the trading cards, and each set holds 10. Each one has 10 cards per pack. So you will get 30 random cards, and you guys can collect them and trade them amongst yourselves, knock yourselves out. So you're going to have 3 of these packs. So you'll get 1, let me pick a different one. 1 random card plus 3 packs of cards. You will get them for $10. So $10 will get you 3 packs plus the loaner, the individual. So set 1, and then these are from set 2. I have enough to do 15. So 15 lots. The first 15 people, $10. Yes, Nate's bracing for impact. We got a couple of people hovering over the keys. $10, the first 15 people to give me number 14. $10, number 14, you get a set of the 3 packs of trading cards plus a loose individual card. And we will give Nate some time to do that, because then I can talk about the sale just ended. The crock did sell. It had a couple of bids. So this auction has ended, and it ended up selling for $28, which I'd hoped it would go for a little bit more than that, but it's a fairly specialty item, so I get that. It was purchased by somebody with the words Moo Moo in their title or in their name. So I don't know if Moo Moo is on the sale tonight, but if you are, let us know who you are. So if Moo Moo, if you are here, because then what I'll do is you've already paid for the shipping for this. If you buy anything else tonight, I will just include everything and basically combine for shipping, based on what you've already paid. So if Moo Moo is here, let me know who you are, because I don't know eBay names. Congratulations on picking this up. I'm hoping it's going to go to a good home. And the next item that, while we're still claiming the winners here, the next item that just went live, this went live 7 minutes ago. This will expire next week in the middle of the next sale. It is Bergland Magazine, the March-April 1940 issue in the German language. So it's relatively special, a specialty item. But what is unique about this is the Bergland Magazine existed prior to this is going to give you probably more of a World War II history lesson that you want. But the Anschluss happened in 1938, which is what merged Austria and Germany, kind of came together as a greater Reich. Bergland existed before that. This is the 1940 issue. And what this basically became was, it's effectively a Nazi propaganda magazine for the nationalism of a unified Germany. So my daughter went through and tried to translate a lot of this. She said this type of magazine would not exist in Germany now. They would not allow it. It would be comparable to some of the rhetoric that you would hear at certain points in America's history, that America's the greatest country ever. All the other countries are horrible. We are wonderful. That is how this was written for Austria. What is cool about this and what is unique about this, there's an article that talks about some artist that does these woodcut prints. It has an image of, trigger warning, we're talking about Nazism. It actually does have a woodcut of the Nazi flag with a German language poem, which is praising the return of the Austrian soldier following the unification of Germany and Austria. So there's definitely some political propaganda, nationalist propaganda, but it was a standard magazine. So you've got the Museum of Mozart in Salzburg. There's, again, talking about how great Austria is. It's got this great museum because Mozart came from there. There's an article about women's fashion, and there's some great photographs. So even if you don't speak German, some of the imagery in here is really, really cool. So Frau and Hein is ladies and home. So you've got 1940 war fashions. What was the fashion in wartime Germany? Because again, Germany invaded Poland in 1939. So this being issued in 1940, World War II, it's happening. It's there. So that was the first 2 pages of that article. And then it goes into how to decorate your home. So while the world is literally falling apart around you, you can do some lovely craft projects. And you can make some name tag Lieberkuchen, whatever. It's not sweetbread. That'd be disgusting. What, gingerbread. So this is what's live right now. There are very few issues of this. There are literally 0 issues of this listed on eBay right now. There are a couple condition issues. A couple of the pages are loose. So that's all marked in there. Some cool imagery. I put some more photographs in there in the listing. This will end next week, and I literally have no idea what it's going to bring because it's kind of a specialty piece. but it's pretty. I'm sorry, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, history is history, and there's some pretty cool stuff in there.
And that is very cool, Patrick. And I've been to that museum that you mentioned.
Mozart. The Mozart one? Oh, awesome.
Oh, it is just really amazing. So
I walked by it, but I was only in Salzburg for a day, and we literally were, because we had an issue with the train. We got there super late. We literally were only in Salzburg for like 4 hours, so I didn't get to see very much. All right. So did I give you guys enough time to figure it all out?
We did. I just got the message from Nate. So number 14 goes to Serendipity by Melanie, Crafty Jackie, Lilacs Vintage Life, Vintage Love and Nerd, Proud American, Angela Marksberry, Book Bewitched, Ronan Free Lane, Serendipity by Melanie, Book Bewitched, another Book Bewitched, and Lilacs Vintage Life again. So congrats, guys. Picking up number 14.
So did that take all 15? Because I think that I only counted 13.
Let me count one more time. Yep, only 13. So there are 2 more available then.
Yeah, so there's 2 more available. If anyone who already got one, if you wanted another set, or if anyone missed out. So
and, Serendipity by Melanie is claiming 1 more set.
Okay, and so there's 1 set left. It gives you the 3 sets of the second series of cards, plus the 1 individual card from the first series.
And another one goes to Serendipity by Melanie, so she's claiming.
Okay. And yes, Kim, these can be, and these are sold on eBay. So sometimes they're sold as the packs. I think there's a total of 4 series, I think. So this is series number 2. And because they are risque, but they are not nudity. But I actually believe you can sell nudity on eBay as well. Not 100% sure on that, but okay. So that took care of all of those. So I'm out of all of the pinups. I don't think I heard Vinny getting that, so maybe he already had all of those. But so that was just a fun little thing that, like I said, you can't pick up a pinup art without thinking of Vinny.
That's right.
All right, going from pinup to porcelain. So this is a piece that I'm going to show you really quick, and like just off the cuff, Katie, what are you thinking when you see this?
I think of a water pitcher by your bed.
Yeah, and I thought the only people that would make this was Lefton. So I assumed this was left in China when I picked it up. I assumed it was left in China when I bought it. I assumed it was left in China when I brought it home. And it was until I was prepping for the sale that I discovered it is not left in China. It is Rubens porcelain.
Rubens. Oh, yes.
I was not familiar with this name. So it is a little miniature, just like what Katie was saying, the big size, you'd be able to have your wash stand. So this is just the decorative miniature size. It actually almost, when I held it up to, it kind of has the look of that Robinson Ransbottom picture that you had in our sale with the fruit.
Yeah.
On it. So, so Nate is asking what muumuu means. So in general, a muumuu is a draped garment, kind of like it doesn't open like a robe. So think of a t-shirt that goes all the way down to your floor, down to the floor. Is that a muumuu? Would you say, Katie?
That's what I would describe it as. And
they're usually very loud prints. You're in New Zealand, so you probably don't know the Ropers from Three's Company, but that's muumuu, caftan. We're all in the same general look. But anyway, so this is a little piece. I thought it was Lefton. Rubens does they kind of do the same thing that Lefton does. They kind of compete against them. It's just a sweet little piece, decorative. It's got a lot of gold and the gold accents to it. It's in perfect condition. It's only $6. So $6 for the little Rubens porcelain, wannabe Lefton porcelain. So Nate knows what a muumuu is. Okay, did not mean
he was asking
your muumuu knowledge, Nate. Sorry, that must be asking for something else.
He was asking for one.
He's asking about the winners. Yeah, did somebody claim the term muumuu or the buyer muumuu?
No,
it's entirely possible. It's just somebody from
anybody in the chat.
Okay, so it's probably just somebody out of eBay. So no big deal. But if there was a muumuu out there, I'd take her. And combined shipping. So anyway, $6 for the little decorative pitcher and bowl. $6 by giving me number 47.
Oh, Carrie just typed in the chat. The person who won the brown crock is now in the chat.
The person that won what?
The brown crock, your last stoneware.
Okay, yeah. So the Moo that was the Moo reference. Is that it was Moo something was the winner's name. So yeah. So I was hoping it was somebody from our chat, but if not, no biggie.
And I just saw something. Casey Myers in the chat is the Moo eBay buyer. So congratulations, Casey.
Oh, excellent. Hey, thanks, Casey. All right. So if you do buy anything tonight, I don't know if you picked up any of those cards. If you do pick up anything tonight, I would just combine for shipping. So I always like to, do a shout out. So thank you so much for Casey for picking that up. But if you buy anything else, you've already paid a good chunk to ship for that because it was kind of heavy. I think it was 5 pounds. So anything else could probably get tucked into the box without much change in the cost. And I just charge you the difference.
And number 47 is going to Dave in the Med Center. So congratulations, Tammy's husband, for picking that Rubens Japan piece up.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for picking that up, Dave. All right. Going back to some ephemera. This is, I mentioned before, I picked up a lot of postcards. I also picked up a lot of things like this. This happens to be the only version of this one that I have. The issue is called The Graphic. It is British because when it was sold in 1889, so we are heavy duty into 19th century antiques here. When it was sold in 1889, it was the Saturday, March 2nd issue, 1889. It was sold for 6 pence. So we're even talking about old money for the Brits. It is I don't know if this would have been a daily or no, weekly. So this was an illustrated weekly newspaper, and illustrated is the key. There is some amazing art in here that if you wanted to do this for scrapbooking, for junk journaling, or just frame some of these pieces, they are gorgeous. It's in absolutely fantastic condition. It's still all together. Right on the front, you've got all of these drawings of a hot air balloon taking off. You've got a drawing of the burning of the training ship Cumberland. I'll do the art first. So you've got those right on the front. Then when you open it up, you've got all these great illustrations of famous individuals and people of the news, courtroom scenes, things like that. You got 2 pages of that, 2.5 pages of that. Then you get to the centerfold. And you've got a shooting expedition in India. So you just got some great illustrations of, not necessarily the prettiest thing, but, you cut them apart, but you've got the information on the bottom. It is a shooting in Sinda, India, shooting chink and partridge on the way home. So some of these were from photographs. Some of these were from written journal entries, stories that made the center page. Some of the articles in here, one of the things I found interesting is they were talking about one of the news items, a Pasteur, like Louis Pasteur, a Pasteur vaccination institute is being planned in Rome. So this is in 1889, so they're like already figuring out stuff, the medical. You've got some beautiful drawing of the ballerinas, and it's something like at rest. A few moments of rest. Got court, now there were some children watching in a courtroom, I think it was. Some more portraits. Another scene at the bottom.
The graphics are amazing.
They're in perfect condition. And then you get the ads, and check out these ads.
Oh, wow.
The Benson's watch ad. You've got, what was this? Choice collection of, they're actually selling this artwork. A choice collection of modern pictures, watercolors, and drawings in black and white. So you could actually go buy that art. You've all seen ads for Pears soap. Well, here's a real one. So here's actually a Pears soap ad in an 1889 black and white issue. So no reproductions here. Mappin and Webb's artistic silver plate. Here you go, Nate. Here's where you could have gotten your silver back in the 19th century.
Look at the Kodak ad.
Kodak camera.
Oh my gosh.
So 32 ounces. So would this have been the Brownie? What would that one have been in 1889?
I mean, it definitely has the box style look of the Brownie.
Yeah, they're just calling it the Kodak. And then that's interesting. The Eastman Dry Plate and Film Company. It's like they're actually kind of calling it a different thing. Twixt plot and lip. I don't know what that actually is. Dyspeptics. So you've got some medical things. And then these are all just print ads all on the back.
And Nate says that Mappin and Webb is great quality, and he's got pieces in his collection.
Excellent. Diseases of the spleen, right next to pastel painting. King's College Hospital, funds urgently needed. You know, so this is just like all newsworthy stuff. It's so cool. So first, like, you could read it. The articles are they're a little dry because it's 19th century way of writing. But, you know, just kind of what was newsworthy at the time. Then you, like I said, you could frame these. You could frame this as in its entirety. You know, this would just be a topic of conversation right there. Or if you're into junk journaling, you know, don't tell me that you've cut this apart, but there would be some very cool images as you cut, even the little portrait ones. You know, all these men, you know, even those could just be like little side pieces in your junk journaling. You know, just some side images. So it's absolutely a gorgeous piece. Again, it is the Graphic, an illustrated weekly newspaper. It was volume 39 at the time. So I don't know how they did their volumes, but so that was Saturday, March 2nd, 1889.
We have a question coming in from Casey. She's asking if the paper is slick or does it have tooth to it?
I've never heard the term tooth. I would say it is not slick though. So I would say this is comparable to almost a modern day newsprint, but a little bit thicker. But there's like, I don't really feel, I don't know if you're able to see much. It's not like rag paper or it's not linen. You know, you can see there's a little bit of foxing on it. Let's see if I can find a place, like there's here on the edge, you can kind of see that it's paper, that it's not rag bond.
Very nice, heavyweight.
Yeah, so it's like you're not dealing with cardstock. And I apologize, I don't know the terminology to 19, so I'm actually going to learn that one because I don't know what tooth would mean. So I apologize, I can't answer that question. Maybe I should, because I'm going to have about 100 of these that I have to sell. But this is the only one from the Graphic. So I pulled this one out by itself. I will be doing a grab bag style. There was another, like an illustrated weekly that I actually have like a couple dozen. I'll just do those as like a random thing. But this one is probably one of the best of the lot, just because of the graphics and then the age. Although I do have some from 1866 are the oldest.
Wow.
Yeah, and those are in pretty good condition too. So this was 1889. It is $15 for the Graphic newspaper of 1889. $15 by giving me number 56. $15.56 for the newspaper.
And Diana Church is just saying that the tooth basically is a great term for weight or bite of paper.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with the texture? Because that's kind of what I thought by tooth. It was like it would have.
Yeah, I was thinking more of a texture thing. I don't know. So that's something we can.
All right, yes, I'm definitely going to have to look that up.
And I see Catherine Young picking up number 56. That would go along great with her love for doing all things creative.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I hesitate because you're going to rip it apart, but I'd love to see this get a new life. So definitely let us know what you end up doing with that, Catherine. Thank you for picking that up.
And yes, she is a graphic designer, so she's probably in love with all of the way they've done the font.
Awesome. All right. So we're about a little bit past halfway through the night. Need to crank through the rest of these. So it's time for another mystery box. Works the same way as the other ones. I'm not going to tell you the number. You have to guess the number. $15 mystery box. It'll have $25 to $30 worth of stuff in it. And this one has a number that falls between 10 and 20. So guess the number between 10 and 20, and you will have this mystery box between 10 and 20.
All right. Lots of folks coming in. Still don't see the number yet.
I was going to say, I haven't seen the number yet. Oh, wait. Did I just see it?
Oh, I just saw it. I'm going to let Nate confirm, though, because I want Nate to be right on his end.
Yep, I see a couple now. Now we got to see what the first one was.
Okay. I know what I see. Wow, these mystery boxes are always so popular.
And mine keeps jumping, so I'm having a hard time keeping the order going. Yep, that's the one.
Nate is exactly seeing what I see. Sheila Putman.
All right. So congratulations, Sheila. It was number 19. So it's going to Sheila Putman. All right. So thank you, Sheila, for picking that up. All right. I've had a couple sales lately. I'm going to go try and go a little bit faster because I thought my internet just jumped again. I was picked up in one of the estate sales series or collection of Wade. And there's some Wade whimsies. I'll have some of those later. But this was the Wade. It's Wade Heath, England, which I was not familiar with. It is a pair of bowls, and I did some research on it. They are in the bramble pattern. So they are, fairly decent sized bowls. Like I would say this is a Chinaware, China set, China pattern. It's just under 7 inches across. It's called bramble. At the top, there's kind of like a trunk, like it should be the top of a pumpkin, but you can see there's all leaves built into this. So I'm not sure what this branch is supposed to be other than, I guess, holding these big flowers. So it has it's a little like purple and mauve, like pinkish colors. And then you got the big yellow. I don't know if those are flowers or if those are pears. I don't know what grows like that. You recognize that flower? Like, what is that yellow thing?
I mean, it kind of looks like a pear, but
I don't know if pears grow with like hats like that. Like, I don't know what would grow out of like, so anyway, and then the leaves at the top, and then the rest of it, it's got the green border. And then it's like a creamy, it's almost like a beige. It's not a creamy white. It's a little bit darker, like a beige. Like, let me compare white to the color. So you can see there's it's more of a creamy color. There's a great crazing in this. Hopefully you can see it. Try to get the light to show. No, can't really get the crazing to show, but there definitely is crazing more on the back than on the front. And there is a pair. So you do get a pair of these Bramble Wade Heath England plates, and you get the pair for $10. So $5 each, $10 by giving me number 63. $10, number 63 for the pair of Wade plates.
And Nate saying it looks like yellow freesia. Now I don't know what a freesia is.
I'm growing on the idea because a couple Halem and Ninja writers both said corn. It's a little bulbous to be corn, but maybe.
Yeah, corn's a little bit more streamlined, I think.
Yeah, and the husk wouldn't peel apart that nicely. So I'm not sure. Nothing I found described anything other than a couple listings said that was the bramble pattern. So that's all. I'm loving the idea of tachos too. So 63, $10 for the pair. All right. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this little buddy. Katie and I have started the charge to fall in love and to show your love to elephants that have not taken their Viagra. That these are the trunk down elephants. Does not mean they're any less lovable. They are just into cuddles. And so this is the trunk down elephant. So it's thumbs up for trunks down. And it is a little wooden carved elephant. So it's like 2.5 inches long and a little over 2 inches tall. And I can only imagine what Vinny is going to say about me giving measurements of the non-Viagra elephant. So I'm believing that the tusks are also just little wooden pieces that were inserted. I don't think they're bone. I know they're not ivory. That this just appears to be a nice little wooden carved piece. I'm going to assume it's hand carved, but I don't know that. There's just nothing on here to indicate who made it. So maybe it was a store purchase piece and there was a paper label that came off. But it is just a little cute wooden elephant. It sits very nicely on something flat other than my hand. And he is only $8. So $8 for the little wooden trunk down elephant. Thumbs up for trunks down. $8 by giving me number 5.
And I see Tiger saying he picked up a trunk down elephant because of you, Patrick.
Awesome. We got to give show some love to the trunk down elephant.
Yes.
Everyone wants the trunk up. Everyone wants the Viagra filled elephants and think that those are good luck. He will give you cuddles. He will show you. He will be your long-term companion. He's not in it for the short haul.
And I see Sandra K is picking up number 5. Congratulations, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra, for picking that up. All right. I don't get to do this very often, but when I do, I always have fun doing it. I'm going to help you build an instant collection. You did not wake up this morning knowing you needed to collect some restaurant ware. Well, if you buy this, you will have an instant collection because I have a set of 3 small bread and butter plates that are all restaurant ware china. And these all have some really nice designs to them. So you've got this blue and orange, you've got the Fatbird Fine colors of restaurant ware. This one is from Shenango, China. So that's the smallest of the 3. This one has a really cool turquoise, aqua, and gray pattern. It is also Shenango, China. And then this one has a much more simplistic black and white pattern. This one is Walker, China. The Walker China piece was made in 1941. And the Shenangos, I can't tell. They don't easily stamp them in a way that you can tell. This one's marked rum roll across the circle. I don't know if Barb is here. She always knows this kind of stuff. So I don't know. That one says rum roll, like kind of across the circular plates, the concentric circles. This one says Shenango, China, Newcastle, and then it has rum roll and well rock with the registered trademark. So I'm going to assume this one's a little bit later. I don't know that pattern. What would you say? I think that's like maybe 50s.
Yeah, very 50s, kind of starbursty.
Yeah, with that little aqua turquoise color. And then this one I would say is a little bit older. I mean, I would put that like closer to the 30s based on that pattern and those colors. But that one I don't have the stamp. This one, though, is 40s. So it is a set of 3. This one's definitely bread and butter plate. This one is definitely bread and butter plate. This one, it has a little bit of a bowl to it, but like you couldn't possibly serve soup or anything in this. So I think it's just a really high-sided, I still think it's a bread and butter plate. It's the size of a bread and butter plate. So I just think it's got a different design, and you can see how much more, depth this one has compared to that one. They all definitely have some utensil marks. I mean, these are definitely showing some age, showing their age. And because of that, you get the entire set, all 3 pieces, for $10. Hey, there you go, Proud American. Got a Jell-O plate. That actually would be good for the Jell-O plate, because then as it starts to melt, it wouldn't, like, it would all kind of stay in the bottom.
In the center, yeah. It would
something wet. So anyways, $10 for the set. So you get an instant collection of restaurant ware, bread, butter plates, $10 by giving me number 35. $10, number 35. So Christy's saying consomme. Those typically will be the size more of a, like almost like a coffee cup, but with double handles on it. That's how I recognize consomme cups. So I still think he's too shallow for anything. Like your spoon wouldn't be able to kind of dip into it. So,
but your knife would probably rest nicely on the outside, which is
true.
The proper way to do things when you're working with your bread and butter. And I see Ninja Riders picking up number 35. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you, Ninja Riders. I don't think I recognize your name, or if you changed your name, so just make sure you send me an email with your shipping information so I can get you an invoice for those. So thank you for picking those up. All right. The next item is I've had these off and on. This one is an unsigned enamel pedestal plate. I would not say it's a cake stand because, again, if you look at this, there's a little bit of a curvature. And if this were a true cake stand, this would be completely flat so that the cake would sit and not like sink into it. So I would say it's like maybe it's a little big for a pedophore stand, but it's something that would hold cookies, it would hold something, or it's just purely decorative. I'm going to say, based on the pieces of Sasha B that I've had that have the same style, this is a 60s pattern. There's a remnants of a label on the back, which I think said once upon a time, I think it said California, but I couldn't find anything that matched that label. And actually, now that I see that, that's not an I, that's an A before the F. So that's, I don't think that does say California. I don't know. What do you think, Katie? Yeah, maybe that, I mean, it is an L and an I. I mean, I guess there is a dot. So yeah, so my first initial,
I think it's California.
Yeah, so I think once upon a time it said California, but I don't know what, of California. If it's a company, if that's just where it was made. It's a great looking piece. It is enamel on copper. The copper is still here on a brass stand. The one thing that I will note on it is that it's not tight. It does turn. There is a screw that should be able to turn, but it seems like it's tight already. So I don't want to risk cracking the enamel. So I did not tighten it any further. So just be aware, it's not going to fall off. It's perfectly good condition. It's just, it spins. So it's kind of like it's a built-in Lazy Susan. And maybe that's what it's supposed to do, but it seems like it should be tight, but I don't know. But it's a cool piece. This one is not signed. This is not a Sasha B signed piece, but I've carried the green patterns, and this is very similar to what Sasha B did in the 60s in green. But I will just say it is enameled on copper on a brass stand, and it is $25. So $25 for the enamel on copper stand, $25 by giving me number 61. $25, 61 for the enamel on copper stand.
The detail to that is just absolutely
it's very cool. And like you could use it for a lot of different things, but I think the minute you put anything on it, you lose all the design. So I think it might just be designed to be like a console vault, just to be pretty,
just to be pretty. Yeah, absolutely. In the center of your table.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to move back into some Rusty and Crusty, because this I thought of Katie when I picked this one up. It is a cobalt blue Noxzema jar. So you've got the greaseless cream Noxzema medicated. I've used Noxzema. I've never felt it was greaseless. I feel it's very greasy. It has the molded Noxzema in the bottom, and it is the cobalt blue. So there's remnants of the label. So you can see a little bit of the instruction on the label, and you definitely have some patina on the lid. Now, I tried to find this one. What era would you put this in, Katie? Because I couldn't find this shape.
Well, with the paper label, I definitely feel like that dates that a little bit, but probably the 1940s, I would say.
Okay.
Just judging by the label, and of course that beautiful cobalt blue jar.
Yeah. So the lid still comes on and off. I'm leaving, the dusty and crusty in there, because depending on what you want to do with it, you might want to leave it that way, or you could clean it up and you'd have just a beautiful, and there you go. Brian's right on there. Noxzema's Crisco for your face. There's as much grease in there as you could think. But it is a beautiful little cobalt blue, possibly dating back to the 40s. And it is available for $6. So $6 for the little cobalt blue Noxzema jar, $6 by giving me number 26.
And it's got made in the USA on the lid. You can see there.
Does it?
On the very side.
Oh, yeah. Cap made in USA. I didn't even notice that. So $6, number 26 for the little Noxzema jar. And it looks like the enamel did not sell, so we'll prop this back here.
And I see Deb Riley picking up number 26. Congratulations, Deb.
No relation to Larry Riley, who picked up the parrots. So we're going to make sure I do not inadvertently combine their orders. So thank you, Deb, for picking up the Noxzema jar. Only got 2 items left. So next one, and I wanted to make sure I finished on time, because at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight will be Martha from Vintage Conversation. She is doing her sale. Does she have a joint sale tonight, Katie, or is she doing the sale by herself?
I think it's by herself, but she could be having a joint sale, but I think it's alone.
Yeah, she sent me a note. No, she is doing a joint sale. She's doing
yes,
with,
Sabrina Simon.
Who is it?
Sabrina Simon. That's
there
right.
You go. Simon says, yes. Sabrina Simon says they're doing it. I don't even know if it's a sale. They mentioned it being a chat, so maybe it's a chat and a sale. But anyway, that'll be going on at 10 p.m. at so the top of the next hour. So I wanted to make sure I'm
it's their
done.
moonlight sale. So yes,
There you go. I wanted to make sure I finished in time for that. So the next piece is just a sweet little. When I first picked it up, I felt it had the Holly Hobby kind of Holly Hobby-esque look to it. It is a porcelain coffee mug. It's got the little couple. I'm going to assume. You know what? I'm not going to assume. I'm going to let you think whatever you want. But there's a couple on a log, and I can't. Based on its era, I would say that's probably a boy and a girl, but I would say those are two girls. But regardless, there's a couple on a log, little sheep. It is not Holly Hobby. It just kind of has that look, and I would say it's probably from the 60s or 70s, but it happened to be German. In fact, it is West German because in the 60s or 70s, that's what we would have been in. It is Joan Walsh England porcelain. I have had some of her stuff before. It does, it kind of falls into the, Holly Hobby-ish kind of look. The Chronister Bavaria, though, I didn't recognize. That's something I don't think I've ever sold. And I don't believe the other Joan Walsh England pieces I've had were Chronister. And then you've got the distribution, and that's what it actually says West Germany. So you definitely have a vintage piece going, definitely pre-80s. Oh, wait. Well, if I just read, 1969. So there you go. Got a copyright right there. So it's 1969. So, hey, I wasn't wrong. So it's just a cute little porcelain mug, probably 8 ounces, I would say. And it's only $5. So $5 for the little Joan Walsh England mug, $5 by giving me number 52. $5.52 for the West German mug.
And that is just a lot of fun. And little children are cute.
Yeah, it's just a little cutie. And there's definitely people that like that boho, the recreating people's childhoods. I don't want to have anything to do with my childhood, so that's not my thing, but it's a cutie one. And it's in perfect condition. Like if you didn't, I would think this could have been new. So it's
I see Ragdoll eBay seller picking up number 52. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you so much for picking that up, Ragdoll. I think you might be new to me as well. I always love when I find new people in my sales. So just make sure you send me an email to the email address on the screen so I know where I'm shipping to, and I will get you an invoice. And so the last item I've got for the evening is returning back to some metal. I mentioned the brass butterfly, the big handmade art piece of butterflies. These are the traditional Homeco butterflies. So we've got a set of 3. I picked it up at the same estate sale. So these people loved their brass butterflies. So you've got the largest one. Let's see if I can put them in order. So you got the largest one, a middle one, and then a small one. I don't know the best way. I guess wingspan. How would you measure these? Height or width?
I would measure the width.
So if you go, because they are kind of like 3-dimensional. So if you just go wingspan to wingspan of the biggest one, it's 4.5 inches. If you go to the height, it's like 5.25 inches. And then you go to this next one, it's like 4 inches across, and then 4.25 inches tall, and then like 3 3/4 inches across, and 3.5 inches tall. So not much variation actually in the wingspan. It's just the height that changes quite a bit. So I've had a similar set of these. There's another one that these are like doubles. This style, they're all singles. They just have the one set of wings on them, but they're in great condition, front and back. A little bit of patina on the back, but on the front, I don't even think that Nate would need those to be polished. So you've got the set of 3 of the brass butterflies. They don't say Homeco, but that's like that home interiors. That's what these are. Like that's what these are coming from. The set of 3 is $10. So $10 for the set of 3 brass butterflies, $10 for the set by giving me number 7. $10, number 7 for the set of butterflies.
Those are very neat. I think that they would look great on a wall around some framed art. Great little gallery piece there.
They sell very well on eBay, sells them fairly regularly. I first kind of stumbled across them through Jeffrey's sales on Real Nifty Vintage. He sells them fairly regularly. And there's just this whole variety. There's, I think I've had ducks. I had something other than butterflies one time. So like there's just other things that do that. So doesn't look like we've got any takers tonight, but that's okay. So those will go back here, but that pretty much is it. If you came late and you want to see anything behind me, I will definitely show these things. But if you've come through the whole thing, first, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you spending some time with me, and appreciate you hanging out. I'm glad that my internet pretty much hung out till the end. Might have had a couple of bubbles there, but as Katie just put in, so Martha's sales coming up in 15 minutes. So you can definitely catch hers. Unfortunately, Nancy, I think she was in earlier, this Overstuffed House. She's not quite in a position yet to start her sales again, but she hopes to be back up and running with her sales in July. So for right now, you'll have Martha after me. And I think someone was taking Nancy's slot. Do you remember who that was?
Serendipity by Melanie was having a few brooch sales from Canada, but I don't know when her next sale is.
I think she might have been the one that went ahead and did something last week during Nancy's slot. Not that any of us own slots, but when Nancy was kind of doing hers. So that's I'm not 100% sure. But at least for tonight, you've got Martha at Vintage Conversation. She's been doing sales now for a few weeks or a couple of months now. How long has she been doing sales?
Nancy's been Martha. Martha's been doing sales for a couple of months now. She used to have Tuesdays, and now she's moved to Thursdays.
Oh, and Angela's saying somebody had a premiere tonight. Oh, so Melanie wait a minute.
Melanie's having her premiere sale.
She's doing a premiere. Okay. So Nancy is still here. She's saying there's not yet, that she still can't walk straight. So hope, be strong, get better. Your health is more important than anything, but I know people, myself included, love your sales. And you offer that nice late night option. So for now, you'll have to scratch that itch with Martha from Vintage Conversation. So she'll be on in about 13 minutes. So for anybody that came in a little bit late, there were a handful of things that didn't sell. So happy to show them again. One of them was this little relish dish breakfast set. It was $20. It was number 53. There's little glass pieces on the edges with little chrome toppers and the salt and pepper shakers. If you want to see that in more detail, let me know. The enameled stand, which I just showed, that was $25. That's number 61. So that is still available. The pair of Wade.
And I see Emlyn Newton picking up number 7.
Okay. Hold on, just lost my.
That was your last item before you started showing the new thing.
Thank you. So that was the set of the 3 butterflies. So thank you, Emlyn Newton, for picking that up. I know you've purchased from me before. And then the last item was the pair of Wade Bramble plates. The pair of the Bramble plates was $10, so $5 each for the number 63. So 63 for the pair of Wade. Hey, Debbie from Arkansas. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, you're coming in right at the very end. So I only had a couple things that didn't sell, but appreciate you checking things out. And there'll be another Martha from Vintage Conversation. If you look at the chat, a couple entries ago is the link to the next sale from Martha in about 15 minutes. So 10 minutes.
Land C is picking up number 63.
All right. It's always funny when I do these. Some people have seen these before. This is what I do. Like, there's a lot of work to doing sales, and we all do it slightly differently, but I have to create all of these so I know exactly what I'm selling. I love when, like, Leanne, she got the 2 things right in a row. That was totally by coincidence.
That's so perfect.
She got 2 things. And then what was even better is check out the middle. For Sandy's Lilacs picked out 3 things in a row, just totally by coincidence. She just happened to get the 3 things smack in the middle. For Sandy Lilacs got 3 entries on top of each other. So I'm easily entertained. But can't show you that when I've got all the numbers. You can't know what they are in advance. But that's how we keep track of things. And then Katie and Nate keep me honest and keep me on task. So I appreciate all of the help. So I think that's it. So the only things that didn't sell are the cake plate and the breakfast set. Yeah, because the butterfly sold. So that's, I'm pretty happy with that because the cake plate I think will sell really nicely on Etsy, and the breakfast set, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm actually really close to signing into a new booth. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet. But as I get things that are too big to ship or not easily shippable, this could easily be shipped, but this could be something that would look nice in a booth.
And Karen Dondelinger is asking to show the cake plate again.
Oh, sure. So it's in great condition. It has, I would say, it's like a salmon color background, like kind of a pink, but there's a little bit of a rose tone to it. It's in great condition. Like there's no chips to the enamel or anything going around the edges, but that you can see the copper around the edges. The heavily enameled, or I guess what would have been like, I guess those would be the flowers, because they've got the little leaf part at the bottom. So I guess these would be kind of considered the florals pieces. So those are a little bit raised, like not like super 3D, but you can see that there's quite a bit more enamel in those. And then you've got the brass center, which is then what attaches to the actual stand. And it is, I should have measured it before, it is 10 inches across and like 3¼ inches tall is what it looks like. So yeah, so it's got the green, like a really, really deep blood red, an amber, a really pretty cobalt blue, and then I guess these two colors I think are actually the same.
I think they are.
Yeah, it's like with the light hitting, it's hard, but I want to say
a dark purple.
Yeah, it's like a really, really. Yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of a purple hint to it. It looked like a dark red, but yeah, there is a little bit more of a purple tint to it. So these two actually end up being the same. So, but it's not signed. That's the downside to putting on an Etsy, is that people like the Sasha B. They like the signature pieces because then you know exactly what you're getting. Maybe somebody if somebody can. I always love the hive mind. If anyone can help me identify the remnant of that label, I'd love to figure out who made that, because that might make it significantly worth more. I was pricing it simply as it's an enamel pedestaled plate. So, and the
number and the price for that?
That one was number 61, and that was $25.
All right. I think Karen might want that. So if she types that into the chat, that is a gorgeous piece, as many people are pointing out.
The benefit to that, Karen, would be not to try and push you or anything. The benefit of that, since you're already getting a mystery box, it kind of, I can put it all together. And so it is expensive shipping to San Francisco. So it's nice when we can combine things.
And indeed, Karen is picking up number 61. Right. Congrats, Karen. It's stunning.
I know she will give it a good home. So great. All right. Well, thank you to everyone. So the only thing that was left was the little relish dish, if anyone wanted to see that. And thanks for all the new people signing on. I Forget Eclectic, great finds. Thanks for coming. Oh, Southern Mermaid came back. Well, welcome back, Southern Mermaid. Glad to see you again. Of course, Tiger was here. And Peterson, thank you so much for joining us. Book Bewitched being here. Dave, the Med Center is in the house. That's great. Thanks for picking up. You picked up something. Now I can't remember what you bought, but picture in the bowl set. So I appreciate that. Oh, there's Martha. So she's got to be prepping for her sale. So 5 minutes, Vintage Conversation. That is the channel name. The link is a little bit further down. Katie put something in to actually link over to her channel, but you'll have disconnected by then. So go ahead and look for Vintage Conversation. You should follow her. And thank you again, Katie, for, I'm sorry, I should give you a warning that you were coming back on screen.
That's okay. I was going to put another link in the chat, but we're all good. I think we know Vintage Conversation now.
Perfect. And so what do you got coming up, Katie?
The next thing that I've got is a really great vinyl video this Friday. And then I've got a show and tell next week at 9:30, along with all my other regular content. And
What's the show until
very
next week?
exciting. So I'm going to have Mid-Century Maven on, and she's going to be showing some really cool jewelry pieces. And she's got some amazing vintage jewelry and antique jewelry collections.
Sweet. And then I will have this Sunday, I will have my next deep dive. I've been trying to like move them to once a month. And so we had to squeeze it in at the very end of the month. So Sunday will be the deep dive with Holly from Suffragette City Vintage. People that watched my Maryland video or watched my live of her store in Maryland on my Instagram channel, she will be talking about souvenir jewelry, going all the way back to items that were micro mosaics that were purchased and brought back from the grand tours in the 19th century, all the way up to kitschy items that would be picked up from as souvenir things from mid-century. So we will have that, and I will be on the road next week. So my next live sale will be on location somewhere in Minnesota. My literally today, my plans got changed. I was going to be doing it from South Dakota, and now I'm not going to South Dakota. So I'm going to stay in Minnesota, and I'll have to figure out where I'm doing my sale. But I've already started packaging some very small things that I can carry with me and be able to do my live sale from a hotel next week. And then July will be interesting because I will have 2 performances going on. I'm not sure I'll be able to do a live sale while I'm on stage. So we'll have to figure out what we're doing with that.
That would be fun.
So yeah, so we'll see how that comes together, because then also in July, and I think there were some other people doing it as well, I'm going to try all of the vintage Christmas items that I've been picking up over the last couple of months that keep getting put into a box, and the box keeps getting bigger. So I'll probably pick one sale in July that will be my Christmas in July, not original at all, but my Christmas in July sale. And I have some awesome Christmas items, one of which is a mid-century modern, I think it was Good Housekeeping issue from 1954. It was their Christmas issue. And so it's all Christmas gifts and hostess gifts and everything for the Christmas season. It has the aluminum Christmas trees. It's just like it was created for all of the mid-century fans out there. So that'll be one of the items I'll be putting into the eBay auctions. But those will be coming up. And so that's what I'm going. Yeah. So Christmas magazines, they are awesome, Vinny. I always have mixed results of what people are looking for. And, yeah, Christmas ones are going to be, those will always be the safe bet. And that'll happen at some point during July. So then you have it. So if you want to then decorate early for Christmas, and I don't have to keep storing it, because as we just discovered with the chase deer, the longer I hold on to something, the more likely I'll break it.
I just decapitated the head off of a Japan figurine.
Oh, no.
I was so mad at myself. Its little buddy is fine. There's a pair of them, but the other one, his head just came flying right off yesterday. I was so mad.
So Peterson's asking where I will be in Minnesota. My biggest customers are actually in the Twin City area. So I will start the first part of the week. I will start there, but I was supposed to go west Wednesday night to be in South Dakota on Thursday. And that customer is my second or third largest customer, had to cancel because she's gone that day. So I will probably end up heading toward Duluth. Not sure I want to go that far north, because then I need to get home the next day, and that is the Friday of the 4th of July weekend. I don't want to be traveling on the Friday of the 4th of July weekend, but it's all a road trip. I'm driving. So I'm not sure where it'll be, but I will start in the Twin Cities, and I'll kind of like migrate probably north or into northern Wisconsin, just wherever it makes more sense for me, where I can find appointments is kind of what it boils down to. But yes, that is some of my biggest business is in the state of Minnesota. And it's my first like overnight trip. It's my first trip since we've been given the green light to start traveling for work. So that's where I'm headed. And then after that, probably in July, I'll be going into Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri. And so I'll let people know when I'm there, because I know there's a lot of people that I ship to in those areas. So you never know. Not going to plan any big get-togethers because, I have a job, but you never know. We might be able to do a little bit of thrifting some evening. So anyway, thanks again, Katie, for helping me out. Thank you so much,
absolutely,
for keeping us on track in the chat and keeping track. I've tried to be nice to you. Didn't have as many multiples, but
Nate's a rock star.
He is absolutely rock star with the multiples. When I get to the newspaper multiples, you might have some swear words for me, because that's going to be, there's at least 20 to 30 of those. And then I still have the Wade Whimsies, and I haven't decided what to do with the Wade Whimsies. And I could sell some maxi pads again. And also, I'm going to start selling. I meant to mention it earlier. I don't have one near me. Katie has new merch. You know, I haven't talked about it in a long time, but just remember, I have merch. I have coasters, of course. So the Trusty Huckster coasters are $1 a piece. If you've ordered from me and you want me to throw in a coaster, let me know. Usually your first order from me, you'll get a coaster for free. But if you want more, they're $1 a piece. So if you ever want a coaster, sorry, I don't have one within easy reach, but they are the Trusty Huckster logo, and it says Trusty Huckster Mercantile.
They are really cool. I've got several of them, and I just adore them.
Nate decides to wash my hair.
I love it, Nate.
Yeah, you're always self-deprecating, but you know how to do it, and you know you'll miss it. If the last time my daughter had to help, Nate was just chewing his nails. Like, wait, what do I need to help? I need to do something. So, yeah, but we appreciate you, Nate. I appreciate you, Katie, and appreciate everyone else for joining in tonight and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. Everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.